and let me hide myself. Okay.
Yes. Hello. It is a
Hello.
it is a pleasure to speak to you. This movie was so moving and empowering. And I wanted to talk to you about what was it like to be in this kind of headspace where you do play what would be deemed as a lost soul. One of the most powerful lines that you say is, "I ain't got no freaking story." And we
Mm,
kind of go into your mindset of someone who really doesn't have that kind of will or doesn't see himself as somebody who's even important. So
mm.
what was it like as an actor to dive into that?
It was very difficult. It was very difficult. It was very hard. Um, it took a lot of bravery, I would say, to take myself there.
Mm.
Um, but I was aided and helped by such a loving set, such a safe space, and a sensitive crew, a lovely and amazing director that Steve is, who would always make sure and always check in, like, how are you feeling? Are you okay? Um, also, Alex is a person as well. Having Alex, being able to speak to Alex, get to know Alex, that kind of took a pressure off me because he was so open and so loving, that I didn't feel that I had to. Obviously, we want to get somewhere and we want to achieve great work,
Right.
but I didn't feel that pressure, that added pressure from him or his family, that you have to do this, and if you don't do this, we're going to hate you.
Right.
So that love definitely allowed me, as weird as it sounds, quite a contradiction, the love from them allowed me to get to a very, very deep, dark place.
Right. What I also was interesting about this is your first movie. You just came out of school to do this movie. What lessons would you say from drama school that you learned that you was able to apply to this role?
Mm. A lot to do with text analysis, I would say,
Hmm.
especially when you have such emotion that you need to get to. You never want to force it, because it has to. It's not believable.
Right.
What I definitely got from drama school is you have to let the text affect you. Um, so yeah, a lot of being able to break down a script, find stuff out about Alex, what people say about me, what I say about myself. That really allowed me to make such a full and whole character.
Right. As an actor, is there any kind of process that you go through, whether it's like keeping a diary, or is it just through a series of interviews where you fully is able to get into that character?
Yeah, so I watched I watched Babylon, actually, which is a
Hmm.
film based in the 80s in London,
Mhm.
to really be able to kind of like immerse myself in that world and dialects and things. Um, I didn't keep a diary entry, but I listened to so much music. I think for me, my access is music. Once I hear once I hear something, I let it filter through my body, and I kind of create a whole world around what I'm hearing. So I listen to a lot of reggae, a lot of even though bashment and dancehall is a bit later,
Mhm.
but just that freedom that it brings, especially with Alex later on in his life, when he finally has the confidence and is able to find out who he is.
Mhm.
But music helped so much. I mean, I'm in love with the music.
Was there a particular track that you played, like to get into certain mindsets, like when he found himself or when he didn't find himself?
Mm. No, there wasn't. But I will
Hmm.
say that uh, Murder She Wrote, when I was at home, I was
Hmm.
literally singing that back to front, back to front, back to front, back to front, just a way to like tap in and
Hmm.
get the dialect, get the feel and the freedom, for
Right.
sure. Mm.
Now, what I love about this is that it's educational. I didn't know about this massacre. I didn't know about, what was going on over there. For you, was it the same way as well, where you're also diving into the historical background?
Yes, yes, for sure. I was familiar with the Brixton riots.
Mhm.
I knew about that, but what I didn't know was about the New Cross fire, and that was really shocking to hear. Um, and it's so upsetting that we aren't taught that.
Right.
It's like our history, and it's just swept under the mat, like we weren't there to exist. Um, so when watching that scene, when we're all sat down, that obviously we're acting, but that's real emotion,
Mhm.
real emotion. I was unaware. So there's a lot of questions like, why? What have we done for this to happen? A lot of anger, a lot of hatred. It's horrible, horrible.
Right. By being in this movie, and because of the time period of it, does it kind of change your perspective on how you see today's world?
Mm. I think for me, it makes me value the older generation a lot more, um, because it took Simeon, one person, to change Alex's life, one person to just take that time to help him. And for me, I just value a lot of my mentors a lot more, my mum's wisdoms, my uncle's wisdoms, the people around me, because they've lived it and they're here to tell me about their experience. And without them, I wouldn't be here in such a fortunate position. But prior to this, honestly, I would definitely say I was a bit more flippant with, you don't know, yeah. But no, after on like Simeon, what a character and what a man. So,
Right.
yeah.
There are so many moments in this movie. Is there a particular scene that you really, when you watch over, really impacts you and you're like, yes, I did a good job?
um, what I really there's a few scenes that I like, but I would
Hmm.
say the scene that makes me happiest is seeing it makes me the laugh the most is seeing Alex in the barbershop, and seeing how innocent and vulnerable he is and
Hmm.
so naive to this world. He goes, I'm not I might be black, but I'm from Surrey. Just that naivety and innocence to me, just although it's really sad, it also puts a smile on my face because I'm a 21-year-old man. But then I look
Right.
back at that and I'm like, wow, I really do look young. That's it's crazy to think that's me. So yeah, I
You
really
do, you do. What I love best is about there's the different chemistry that you have with every actor. It seems to be very different. Was there any kind of bonding that was on set, off set, to really get that rhythm?
Mm-hmm. So me and Elliot Adusa, who plays one of my best friends, Valin, um, we luckily enough knew each other beforehand, which was great. But he also came around to my house before. We chilled, had a few drinks, just to really build on our relationship. Because obviously we play best friends. He in the film plugs me to reggae music and plugs
Hmm.
me to a different type of life. And same with Jonathan and Fumi, we constantly message, constantly text. We even made a group chat so we could, always be talking and just keeping
Hmm.
people updated. Because I definitely think that when you are playing in such close quarters,
Hmm.
you need to create real memories, um, so you can portray the fake memories on screen
Right,
truthfully.
right. So what has playing Alex Wheatle given to you as an actor and a person?
Um, what's it given to me? It has given me a lot of fight.
Hmm.
um, a lot of fight. I look at things and I go, if Alex can do it, I can do it. Because Alex has had, honestly, one of the most traumatic upbringings I've ever heard about. And
Hmm.
if he can be an award-winning author, why can't someone like me from a loving family
Right.
uh, also achieve great things? So yeah,
Wow.
the fight to achieve.
Right. Now, also because there's so many, serious moments, and there's so much kind of trauma that you have to give through, was there any kind of technique or method that you used to kind of get yourself out of that character?
For sure. A lot of breathing. It might
Hmm.
sound, yeah, but just coming out of a scene and just taking time for myself, just to breathe and tap in. Um, and even sometimes I would just have to call my friends and just be like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" um, because it does stain you. The work when you have to go so deep, it really does stain you, and it does take some time to get out of that mindset. So just having people that you can talk to, um, and speak to, and just recenter yourself by breathing, really helped me.
Right. And if you could describe this film in like 3 words, what would you say?
Hmm. Um, Funny.
Mhm.
Uh, that's a really good question. Funny. uh, oh, I don't want to say vicious. Yeah, vicious, and enlightening.
Mm, I like that very much. That's a very good one. And I was wondering, also with the other, there's a bunch of other films with the short. Was there any, when you're looking at of the other films, was there any kind of like particular character or scene that you would have loved to have seen your character interact with?
Put Alex in Lovers Rock. I would have loved Alex to be in Lovers Rock. That would have been great to really explore that music, especially Alex as a DJ. Like if you were to put him in that, he would have probably been behind the decks somehow and, you know, got the crowd moving his own way. So that would have been great. I would have loved that.
Did you pick up any skills while working with the DJ and music?
Sadly not, I didn't, but it did inspire me and encourage me to do my own stuff in terms of DJing. So that's what I'm definitely going to be doing in the future.
That's wonderful. I look forward to listening to that and seeing more from you. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you.